Welcome back to Melodic Memories of Light's Monarch. I'm Casey, and today I actually wanted to talk about Thanksgiving, or at least Canadian Thanksgiving, being I'm Canadian and such. I'm actually just getting ready to go out to my parents' place for Thanksgiving today, which falls on the Monday that everyone will be hearing this. But the way that families do it up here, I'm sure it's the same everywhere. Thanksgiving is a universal term, at least in the North America. Um, fuck, don't mean to sound so stupid. In North America, Thanksgiving is kind of a normal thing. And for me, having two different families, I get to go to two different Thanksgivings. And it sounds great in concept. It very much sounds great in concept. But in execution, I would have to say not so much. It's always kind of a hassle having to go to two different Thanksgivings. I won't complain about the food because the food is the absolute best part about it. I will say that right now. Love my family, love them to bits. The ones that are close to me and actually give a shit about me, the immediate family, if you will, like parents and brothers, sisters. Those ones I give a shit about. The ones that can't even be bothered to say hi to me at these kinds of events are the ones that, at the end of the day, like I mentioned weddings in the last episode, those kinds of ones wouldn't be really invited. Because, I mean, I know it goes both ways. I have to be, nice and everything and try to reach out to them, but when I have and try to say hello and it's always me to the point where I stop saying hello and then they just say nothing. Yeah, I kind of taken it like with a grain of salt, of course, cuz I'm a little bit different than some of my family and definitely grew into my own kind of person where they are very much the stereotypical, I don't know, farmer kind of people from the area that I grew up in are kind of all the same to an extent. Like they share the same values and same opinions on things, where I kind of went out and just grew my own independence and my own opinions. Not saying that their opinions aren't their own, but it's very much a force fed kind of belief throughout many generations, it seems. But in saying so, I kind of always assumed that maybe it's just because I'm a little bit different, the black sheep of the family, if you will. Hate that term, but that's probably what it is. I think my family, some of them look at me and they don't really know how to talk to me, and they don't really know exactly what to say or feel like the right move. Like, because so some context, the area I grew up in, very small town Alberta, very conservative minded, kind of very farmer esque, like small town vibes, right? So a lot of people, they love vehicles, or they're into farming, or they're into rodeo, or they're into sports of some sort, which I can relate to them on that extent, at least when it comes to hockey and basketball. I guess I played that in high school a little bit, but was never my favorite sport. But to say more on the whole kind of vibe of living there, growing up there, these people like just don't really know how to speak to me in a sense where I just again went out and figured out my own shit. But it makes it weird and interesting to an extent to have to come back home because I don't relate to them, like the trucks and the vehicles, and I can't really have a conversation about all that. I can very much on the most surface level terms can, but not really to the depth that they can. And I know that there's even people around here where I live currently that are very much of the same, because again, small city Alberta. I mean, it's a hub city, at least the closest hub city to Edmonton, for the northern part of Alberta, but it's still very much the same. So I've dealt with it my whole life at this point. Unless if I ever move, God knows when or if that would be. But it does seem like when I go back home, I notice it, especially in these events when I have to see all these family members. I love them to bits, of course, my immediate family that actually understand and get, have a care to get to know me. But the others, I am always awkward having to see. That's, it's never like I'm completely bummed out or completely angry. It's just always awkward, and I never know exactly how to kind of approach the situation. And honestly, if I was to be honest, the easiest way is to just like walk up with some alcohol, be it beer or whatever, offer it to them and have some like country music playing. I know that sounds extremely stereotypical and judgmental, but I will tell you now, it fucking works. It works to no end. But in any sense, it is something. I'm just getting ready to go. I wanted to record this quick and kind of say hi to everyone. Hopefully, any of my Canadian listeners, happy Thanksgiving. Hope it was a good one. Hope you guys just kind of stuffed yourself with turkey and all the great food that can be found on Thanksgiving. My personal favorite would have to be the turkey. I'm a sucker for it. I know a lot of people say stuffing, but it's up there. Not gonna lie, but I will say I didn't like it very much until I was much older. I don't know if soggy bread was really my vibe when I was a kid. Chalk it up to being a little bit acoustic with textures or whatever it is, but I will say stuffing wasn't exactly my favorite as a kid. That's just speaking for the main food though. Like obviously you got your mashed potatoes, fucking buns, turkey, ham maybe. Like pierogies, like yes. But the main point of Thanksgiving, aside from seeing your loved ones, the close family, the ones that you care about, that you cherish, so giving thanks for everything, having a lot of food, is also the dessert. Let me tell you the dessert. Pumpkin pie? Hello? Like, is there anything better? Like, obviously, the answer, yeah, I'm sure there's something out there better than pumpkin pie, but nothing really comes close to Thanksgiving meal vibes when you're sitting there already stuffed and you get your pumpkin pie and you just have to scarf that down too because it's just so good. I know pumpkin pie isn't for everyone, same way with like pumpkin spice, but I am such a basic white bitch when it comes to pumpkin spice and pumpkin anything. It's delicious, and I will die on that hill. Fight me, because I know I'm right. But in any sense, everyone's allowed to have their own opinion, but just know that it is wrong. Uh, Jokes, of course. But for Thanksgiving itself, I'm excited to go, even though I just said all that I did. Still excited. I like seeing my mom and my dad and brothers, sisters, as I said, the immediate ones. And it seems like as we've gone older and time has gone on, it's just less and less that I actually get to see them and have quality conversations or quality time with them like I'm going to have tonight. So it's very much something I'm looking forward to in that sense, and of course for the food. But I usually do my Thanksgiving, like to things that I am actually thankful for, usually just by myself. Because Thanksgiving, I know you're supposed to say grace, or if you're not religious, then at least just be thankful, feel thankful for all the things that are in your life and what you've been able to do, what you've achieved. Be thankful for things that, more so the ones that are out of your control. And it's supposed to be a tradition for some that you do that before you eat. But my family has never done that, so I kind of take it up on my own to just, after I get home or get upstairs if I'm staying over at my parents' for the night, depending on how wild it gets or how long it goes for. I usually just sit there and say thanks. Not necessarily aloud to myself, God no, but I'll just kind of lay there and think, about the things that I really am thankful for and just kind of relish in the fact that I do have the life that I have been given, that I do have the things that I have rather than focusing on some of the things that I don't or some of the things that I haven't achieved or haven't gotten to yet. I just feeling thankful in the moment where I currently am presently, and I think there is a hell of a lot to be thankful for, regardless of which way I would be to look at it. I've got a lot of friends, a lot of family that care about me, alongside the friends, of course, and just I'm in a great place right now. Like, I wouldn't change it. There's a lot that I could, work towards, and I am working towards it. Growing, being more confident in myself, all these great things that one, achieves or strives to achieve. But for where I'm at right now, I'm thankful for all of it. And hell, I just made a new friend back at my cousin's wedding that I mentioned in a couple episodes ago, I think. Been sharing music with her and movie recommendations with her, so shout out if you're at all listening. Doubtful, but you never know. Just so many things. That's just like a recent thing that comes to mind. Like, I'm thankful for a lot. And I don't think I would really want to change too much aside from growing and chasing the dream of, doing this more or following the dream of getting into broadcasting, music, whatever it might be. Just constantly push, but today's the one day to really just feel thankful for all of it because the opportunity I've been given to just be in front of this microphone or go see my parents and like all these little things a lot of people will take for granted sometimes is what you really need to kind of step back and properly be thankful for. I can remember back as a kid, actually, with Thanksgiving itself. I remember watching something very specific, and I tried to look it up. I think I found it, but I'm not sure if it's the same one. I don't know if there's multiple, God knows. But it was Garfield Thanksgiving. It was either Thanksgiving or Christmas. I don't know. I might get the two mixed up, but I remember that one and always wanting to rewatch it alongside Charlie Brown, of course, the Great Pumpkin. Hello. Uh, you gotta go find the Great Pumpkin. I don't know why I got so hyped for that. Apologies. Just childhood memories, nostalgia. And as I was growing up as a kid, I remember Canadian Thanksgiving always, like always, there was a SpongeBob marathon on the TV all day. And every year, except for one, I didn't get to watch it. Every single year I missed out on it. And mind you, I was a huge fan of SpongeBob as a kid. Like, I had the buck teeth to show for it, okay? I had to get braces. But really, I was a huge SpongeBob fan as a kid. And I never got to fucking watch a single one. And it was always a marathon of those or Fairly Odd Parents. I would say every Thanksgiving. Don't know why, but I assume it's just so the parents could be like, all right, kids, go shut up and sit in front of the TV, and they wouldn't be bothered while they were making dinner. I don't know, but that's a theory. But as a kid, with said missing the things, the only one I got to watch, which is why I mentioned this, was Atlantis Square Pantis. If anyone remembers those string of episodes, I think they made a video game on it too, which if memory serves correct, it was god awful. The only good SpongeBob video games were from like PS2 era, let's be real. Like Battle for Bikini Bottom. Excuse me? The SpongeBob movie? Like, hello? Those two were goated. The rest of them were not as much, but that's where it's at. Cosmic Shake, the newest one, is actually not too bad either. Give it a shot if you want. I'd more so recommend Rehydrated, but I know people actually really liked Cosmic Shake. So, if you're in the fucking wheelhouse for a new SpongeBob game, go give that one a check. Go check it out. And don't support the Krabby Patty. I mistakenly did, and then I heard online that it's completely against Steven Hillenburg's wishes, and may the man rest in peace. I know I'm going off a tangent, but believe me, this is important. May he rest in peace, because they're really taking everything SpongeBob was and throwing it into the toilet and not respecting his wishes or anything of the sorts at all. And it's actually very disgusting to see. I know it started pretty much the moment he passed, and it just keeps on getting worse and worse. And I know it's really cool. Like when I seen Wendy's was doing a Krabby Patty collaboration, that's fucking awesome. Like, hello? Of course I want a Krabby Patty, the secret formula. Like, let me know. Give me the formuoli. I just remember the fucking episode with Plankton rather, and he was in the Robo-Crab suit and spends the whole episode fucking with SpongeBob and doing these things for him to just not get it. But besides the point of the matter is, try to give him respect if you really want to go out and try it once, then go try it out once, but please try to respect his wishes and just, I don't know, give the middle finger to Nickelodeon, because they're giving the middle finger to him, and he is no longer around. He can't even do anything about it. It's just very sad. I know that's what happens with intellectual properties with time, but it's just disheartening, to be honest. Back to my main point, though, about Atlantis Squarepantis. I just remember that one quite fondly. They find, like, the lost city of Atlantis, and I know that there was I think some singing in it, but I can't fully remember the episode. It's been years, probably since that Thanksgiving, to be honest, that I've seen it. But yeah, just more memories alongside, like, stuffing a turkey for the first time with my dad and my grandma. Like, that's something I'd never thought I would have done up until that point. And I was like, oh, this is something people actually do. Because I know people have stovetop stuffing, at least here in Canada we do, and that's how most people make it. But the original way is, like, to put a bag inside of the turkey while it cooks with the stuffing in it, so it gets all the... It's... Describing it sounds absolutely disgusting to me, and I know that's coming from someone that just doesn't like to think too much on meat and that whole process. And I grew up on a farm. Like, I grew up, my family hunts. They get their own meat. Like, they hunt not for sport, but for actually using it. And so I know everything there is to know about it. It still is something that I don't care for, though, all the same. So it's not that I'm oblivious to what it is or what happens. It's just not a fan regardless. So, but I do remember stuffing the turkey with my dad and my grandma and going to my uncle's whenever I got to see my dad, because my dad never really had Thanksgiving at his house, except for the year we did the turkey. The rest of the time, we always just went over to my uncle's, and which usually, living in the same town, was usually just like a couple blocks away. So it was great to just walk over and walk on back after we were done with a bunch of leftovers, because it was really just, I think, the five of us, like me, my dad, my uncle, and his girlfriend, and I think their kid, or at least friend. I never really got the direct answer of whether or not he was the kid or not. I could not tell you. It wasn't related to me, but might have been like my uncle's girlfriend's kid. All the same, though, Thanksgiving. It is a hell of a time. There's going to be a lot to do. A lot of family. I'm going to be scraping to get this episode edited and everything for Monday. It won't be coming out on the regular time, but it will be out all the same. And I'm excited. I'm nervous. There's going to be a lot to do, as I just mentioned. And on top of it all, I've got family photos to do. So the arduous task of taking family photos, like, I understand why. It's lovely to have the memories and to be able to look back, and this is everyone. And, you know, because I know the family has gone through some losses over the past couple of years, and may my grandparents rest in peace. We wish they could be here, but all the same, we want to take all these photos and kind of cherish it. And I think my parents are getting more sentimental as they're getting older, so it definitely makes sense on that end. And I'm not going to complain, because it's for them and for me to look back on too, in the future times, or whenever I want to show someone a picture of my family. Like, I'm looking forward to it, even though I know it's going to be a hassle and a half. I just hope that the weather is good enough for the whole time, because if it ends up raining, I don't think we're having photos. But gotta stay hopeful. It's going to be a good day, beautiful day, and yeah, wish me luck. To sort of transition just a little bit, it came out last weekend. At least I believe it was last weekend, because it's already starting to flop hard. Reviews didn't go too well, and the box office score is what I mean. It's getting beaten by more of an indie movie, which is Joker 2. Joker 2, not the indie movie. The indie movie is a different one, which I will get to here soon. With Joker Folie à Deux, I really personally liked it. I think it was a really good movie. I don't understand all the criticism. I feel like the people that are giving it the harshest criticism are the ones that didn't really fully understand what the first one was trying to represent or presenting to the audience. Like, I feel like everything that the first one did was amazing. I know that the second one will never live up to what the first one was, because Joker 1, divisive, yes, but in my opinion, a movie that I think everyone, and I mean everyone, should see, because it's a movie that realistically isn't a superhero movie. I know it's tied to Batman and everything to do with Batman. Like, it's in the Batman universe, but realistically, it doesn't need to be for it to stand on its own. Because Joker 1 is just a story literally about how much it takes to push someone to their breaking point. How bad the world can really be, and how overlooked someone can truly be just because they're a little different or a little weird or had all these past traumatic issues, how easily they can just break with the right button presses, and how much it takes to push them over that edge to where they are no longer themselves to an extent. Like, it was always dormant in them, but they were pushed and did awful things. And then it raises the question of if they're a good person still. And like, I know I'm being very vague about everything, but that's because Joker, I feel like, is a movie everyone should watch, and I don't want to just blab about the whole fucking premise. So I will leave it at that. But realistically, if anyone wants to have a conversation about Joker, please reach out to me on my socials, because that movie spoke to me very heavily, and I do feel it's a film that everyone should give a chance just to see just have a sight into that kind of psyche. And maybe in hopes of making people be a little bit nicer to those that are less fortunate or just overlooked. To then talk about Joker 2, though, it's more so, again, a musical. First and foremost, it's a musical. It has Lady Gaga playing Harley Quinn, which people shit on that too. I really don't understand that. I thought she did a great job. Like, I think people were just upset that Lady Gaga didn't really do her Lady Gaga thing, because in press releases before the actual movie dropped, they were saying how she had to dumb down her singing and sing worse. And in my mind, it's like, okay, why didn't you just get someone that is a worse singer? But throughout the film, you can really see what they meant. And you can hear some Gaga come out, like, proper, but the majority of it isn't really the known Gaga voice. And I think it really shows to what they were going for and what kind of character she was playing. If anything, it speaks to her and her ability to be able to do multiple things. Like, it shows that she can be more than just her amazing singing self, but while still doing singing things. I don't know. It's kind of contradictory in that sense, but I thought it was amazing. I really liked the movie. I went with my roommates and buddy Ryan, and my one roommate liked it, the other one didn't, and Ryan didn't like it either. And we talked about it a little bit afterwards, and it kind of persuaded their perspective a little bit. But their main thing was that they didn't like that it was a musical. And I was like, fair enough, but you knew, right? Like, it was told, like, that's how everyone should have known, right? And they were like, no. And it made me think a little bit, like, maybe the whole world, or at least the majority of it, didn't know that Joker 2 was a musical. I thought it was common knowledge. I thought that was front of the box on the trailers. Like, I never watched any of the trailers, though, because I didn't need to. I knew I was going to go see it anyways. I just knew it was a musical. So I really don't know why people expected something they created in their own head about it, but realistically, they made the movie. Todd Phillips made the movie he wanted to, with Joaquin Phoenix and Lady Gaga. I know that they didn't reach out to DC Studios. They just stayed in touch with Warner Bros., which isn't super great, but you got to think of the state of Warner Bros. Or not Warner Bros., DC. You have to think of the state of them, because they've been so wishy-washy and so all over the place. And more so now with James Gunn and everything, they are wanting to have everything make a universe. Like, Marvel. And I think it's fine to do, but with Joker and Joker 2, it doesn't fit. It doesn't fall into any of that. So, realistically, I think it was probably for the best that he kept it separate. Controversial, yes, but probably for the best. But, as I was mentioning about the movie that was beating it this weekend, is Terrifier 3. That's more of an indie kind of art school film-esque film. I haven't seen it yet. I know it's very over the top, and the money that they've gotten for it has obviously gotten way more than whatever Terrifier 1 or 2 got. So it makes me excited. I've only seen Terrifier 1, which was preceded actually by All Hallows Eve. At least part 1. I don't think part 2 mattered so much, but part 1 was kind of the birth of Art the Clown, the new slasher. The main villain, the slasher, the evil dude, the fucking clown on the box, Art the Clown. He's what a character. He's like a mime and just silently kills people and laughs at them. Like it's very much 80s kind of slasher to the max. Like the gore. Oh my god, the gore. It is almost torture porn level. Like I've seen it online a lot. People say it's just somebody's torture porn fantasy brought to screen, and yeah, I wouldn't say that's wrong. I wouldn't say that in a negative way though either, because I think the movies are good for what they are. Granted, as I said, I only seen Hallows Eve and the first one. The second one I really need to see. I started watching it, so I can't say I've never seen any of it, but I fell asleep because we were actually doing a marathon, me and a girl I was seeing at the time. We're doing a marathon of the first two at the time because the second one just came out. And we were doing it on Tubi TV, I think. So a streaming service that's just free TV essentially. It has ads, but things get constantly rotated out of there. So I don't think it's on there anymore, or else I would have seen it. But with Terrifier 2, I fell asleep, woke up mid chainsaw scene, and I was like, excuse me, just like I don't need that. That scared the shit out of me. I was deep sleep, and I don't know if someone turned the TV up. The ghosts, they just wanted to fucking scare me. Like, hello. Regardless to say, that was a gory scene to wake up to, and is like, okay, I do need to watch this, but I need to watch this from the beginning, because what the fuck is going on? Like, yeah. Anyways, Terrifier 3, if you haven't seen it, haven't heard of it, check it out. Check out the first two. Go see it in theaters while you can. Give it some support because it definitely deserves it. And it might bring more kind of horror slasher stuff back into the limelight and make that a more respectable genre again, because it is definitely one of my favorites to see kind of getting a revival of sorts. In any sense, though, with Terrifier 3, there was also a new release that came out called A Work of Art by Ice Nine Kills. And this is a direct tie-in song to Terrifier 3. Not so much story-wise, like it doesn't have anything to do with that, but I don't know if it's for every showing to say this first, but for the first, like, premiere of the movie itself, after the credits, or after the last scene of the movie, regardless of which, the Ice Nine Kills music video actually played and premiered to these people watching it in the theaters. And I tell you, if I seen this in theaters, I can only imagine the reactions, because the gore is unlike anything. Like, I know Ice Nine Kills have had a lot of gore in a lot of their music videos and have always been upping the production, but this one being the most recent one, and just with Art being who he is, I will just say it was a work of art. Like, go check out this song. Go check out the music video, because it is worth it. If you're a horror fan, if you like gore, go check it out. I know right now you won't be disappointed. You might not like the song, but you'll sure as hell like the visuals. So, in saying all of that, though, I'm going to get out of here and get my ass to Thanksgiving, because Earlier this weekend, I beat Epic Mickey, finally platinum that game on PS5. Would very much recommend that if you like Mickey Mouse or some demented kind of Mickey Mouse stuff. Not demented, but more dark, a more dark theme. And yeah, I guess on my way there, I'll just kind of imagine the new announcements we might get for the new Croc Legend of the Gobos remake. Shout out to anybody who knows that. Crystal, I know you do, but I don't think anybody else does. Um, so excited for that remake to come out. Like, hello. That one, incredibly hyped. It's a game from my childhood. I will touch more on it again soon because this month is apparently Croctober. So at some point, we're bound to get an announcement for the actual release of the remake because that couldn't come soon enough. I need it. I need to platinum that. I'm done Epic Mickey. I've got nothing else. I mean, I do, but come on, Croc. Give it to me. Anyways, to not ramble anymore, if you guys want any makeup, go see Curse Cosmetics. Go look them up in that search bar and use the code LIGHTSMonarch, no spaces, no punctuation, for 10% off of your order. And let me know what you got. I'm Lights Monarch on all socials, and don't ever hesitate to reach out. Again, that was the code Lights Monarch. Use it at checkout for 10% off. And if you want new releases to check out, as I just mentioned, A Work of Art by Ice Nine Kills. Very good, in my opinion. And a little bit of a different vibe, but still spooky for Halloween, of course. Halloweeny 6 Possess Me by Ashaniko. That one was pretty good too. I loved her Halloweeny series, if you want to call it that. Like every single song has their own. Like some of them are really fucking weird, but that's the point. Like it's Halloween. Let's get fucking spooky. And in saying so, thanks for listening. It was a lot of rambles about Thanksgiving and SpongeBob and Joker, Terrifier, all these things. It's Thanksgiving. It's going to be Halloween soon. I'm excited. Enjoy Spooky Month. And thank you for discovering the music within.